Welcome back to the garage. When I posted that last video, I was at 50 to 55 subscribers, I think. And I took a few weeks off just with the holidays and New Year's and all of that. And then I came back to start looking at things, and I'm almost to 100 subscribers. And that's pretty wild. I didn't know that many people would take an interest in this old Rust Bucket Jeep project, but glad you're all here. Thanks for the subscription. I hope I'll come up with some videos that are somewhat entertaining and possibly informative along the way. It's kind of blows my mind, I guess, just a little bit that I have that many subscribers. I don't really know if the channel's gonna go anywhere or if it's gonna be a thing. I really have no idea what I'm doing with it, and I'm just now learning the importance of the algorithm. You probably heard a lot of other content creators complaining about the algorithm, but I can actually see as a very tiny creator that when people like, comment, and share the video, it actually does have an effect. I could actually point to the day, if I go back in the analytics, where at some point the algorithm did something different with my channel, and suddenly the subscription count just started going up like 30 in a month, which is awesome for someone who's at such a small scale like I am. So again, thank you all for subscribing and taking an interest in the content. Again, I'll try to make it entertaining or informative along the way. Maybe humorous here and there. I've got a few silly things that may or may not ever get turned into a video for release, but we'll see where that goes. I kind of did take a couple of weeks off there around the holidays just to de-stress, because I was kind of artificially giving myself a little bit of stress. I was starting to try to force myself to get a video out every week to try to build up something. I don't quite know what I'm doing with YouTube here, but I started running out of parts and running out of things to do on the Jeep until other parts came in, so a couple of those videos were a stretch. So I don't know what the schedule's gonna be here and there, weekly. Don't know yet, we'll see. But stuff is coming. I'm surrounded by boxes here. Parts are coming in. I'm using this. It's one of those Philippine-made spare tire holders as a cup holder right now. I'm sure that's not what they intended that to be, but it's got this nice little, cup-shaped indentation here, so why not? But of course, my priorities are all sorts of mixed up. This is one of those finishing details of I don't even have a spare tire. I mean, I've got the wheel, but I don't have a tire for it. So why? I guess it's because I have some spare cash right now, and eventually I'll get that on there. Who knows? Brakes, though, are the priority. I know it runs. It leaks power somewhere, as much as the some of the radiator hoses used to leak. But I have a lot of the parts. I don't really know what I'm doing, but it's not that complicated. But I've got the master cylinder to put in. I've got the soft lines. Well, that's a spare. But I've got the soft lines because what's on there, they've aged and mice got one of them. I've got the box of brake parts. I do read the comments, and yes, you guys are correct. I really should have, in that the very initial steps, I should have done the distributor cap, the rotor, the points, the condensers. We did do the plugs and the plug wires, and it ran well enough. Really the biggest problem with it running, as far as we can see, because Dad and I don't really have much experience with carbureted stuff, much less old Jeeps, but we have some of the conceptual knowledge down. The PCV, as you guys saw in one of the older videos, PCV was just totally clogged. So we had to clean that up real well. I wish I'd had this ultrasonic cleaner at the time, because that would have made quick work of it. But the PCV system needed to be cleaned. The carburetor, the original Carter was just worn out. We got one of those replica ones, and that made things run a heck of a lot better, but still, it's just not quite right. So you guys are absolutely right. Yeah, distributor cap, rotor, points, condenser. Should have done those. Maybe I should do the oil change while I'm at it. Yeah. But I've got some parts in, got the new cap, the new rotors here, I've got the new points. Those are, the guy I bought it from, he did, give it the old ether down the carb, and it did fire, so we knew that there was life in it. It wasn't stuck or anything. That's about as far as we went with the ignition system, other than to clean the corrosion off the existing cap. And the inside of the cap looks okay, but I have the parts. I have no excuse. I will get around to changing those out soon. I do have a couple of brake springs, because one of them that's on there is questionable, and that's really the only corner I've gotten into on that really well, and that one was questionable. So if one's questionable, yeah, I got a spare. So we'll get those shoes on there. I am going to have to replace that valve, that heater stopcock on the head. I very much love how there are resources out there on the internet. I know that at least one guy out there is running into the same problem that I'm running into right now, or that I may run into, I guess, let me phrase it that way. They've got their radiator stopcock looks very much like this. He went in there and tried to take it off, and it just snapped right off at the thread. So I hope that doesn't happen to me, because I've got to replace that one. I've got so many other parts to do. I've got the rest of the emergency brake components in. I still got the front wheel cylinders. I've got all the rest of the shoes. I've got the sector shaft, so I can rebuild that steering box. Because again, there's like 3 or 4 inches of slop before it actually starts turning the wheels anywhere. So that'll be a priority, just to get it up and driving and safe. So I'm still iffy on doing the hard lines. Yeah, I'd like to. I've ordered lines from a couple different places already, and they've been back ordered for ridiculous amounts of time. I waited a couple months and then just canceled the back order, because it didn't seem like it should be that difficult to get a set of brake lines. So I'm almost to the point of getting a double flaring tool and a few lengths of brake line, and maybe one of those little bendy things so I can bend them without snapping them, and just learn to do it myself. It seems like it's one of those life skills, You won't use it every day, but it'd be nice to know how to make your own double flared brake lines. Could have millions of uses. Maybe just tens of uses. I have no shortage of parts. In yet another previous video, you saw me do the Great Wall of Jeep parts over there on the front wall here. So really all that's missing is, I guess, a little bit of brain power, because I do still have the full-time 9-to-5 job, some weekends. So just overall, I'm sure a lot of you understand the stress of just life in general right now with the pandemic, trying to work, trying to keep going. It wears on you. So haven't quite had the energy to get back to the Jeep. Plus it's been cold, just not fun to work in the cold. But I'm looking forward to the new year, 2021. Surely it's got to be better than 2020 was. We're not even going to get into politics on this channel. That is a minefield. We're not going there. I'm not impressed with 2021 so far, but surely something's got to change. But I hope to get some of this going. I'm hopeful that I'll have the brain power and time to get this thing running and driving. I just clicked the button on some 616 NDTs, so really as soon as I get some brakes and make sure the transmission isn't full of rust, I'm hoping that I'll be able to drive this thing soon and go on a few adventures and basically just enjoy the old Jeep for being an old Jeep. Take it camping a few times, make it reliable enough that I could daily drive it, you know, make a beer run or something. I don't know. It's one of those things you just don't see on the road anymore. And then we get into the hard work, the actual full-blown restoration stuff, where I get to learn more life skills such as welding. Both looking forward to and dreading that one. But this is turning into a much longer rambling video than I thought it was going to be. I'm probably coming up on 10 or 11 minutes now, so that'll be it for now, I think. Hoping to get some stuff done in 2021. Just hoping for a much less stressful year. Hoping to get that Jeep out of this garage on the hill and out into the forests somewhere on the trails. I'm not gonna go crawling on some rocks, I don't think, but a few camping trips, something fun. But that's it for now. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for joining me on this interesting trip that is this project. And I'll see you in the next video.